Good morning, students.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning to all. So, in where we have done conductors are in series completed, right?
Yes, sir. Temperature of junction.
Junction is over. Next few topics are there. Then after we'll go for numericals. Okay, objective J numericals. So let us enter into the topic. Keep subheading. Conductors are in parallel. Okay, conductors are in parallel. Conductors are in parallel. Okay, so this is the situation when conductors are in parallel. If the conductors are connected in parallel, how to find the equivalent thermal conductivity? That is our wish. Earlier we have seen that series combination. So the two conductors we have taken, each of length L, whose area of cross section, first one is A1 and second one is A2. Let K1, K2 are the coefficients of thermal conductivity. Let parallel means the temperature difference is same. Hence, this end of the combination is kept at theta 1 degree temperature. This end of the combination is kept at theta 2 degree temperature. Here, because of different thermal conductivity, the rate of heat flow will be different. Let H1 is the heat flow through the first slab. H2 is the heat flow through the second slab. Means what is the combined heat flow of these two dots? These two conductors together will allow H amount of the heat flow per second. So then the rate of heat is H means I can write the net flow of heat that's equals to heat flow from the first conductor and heat flow from the second conductor. That's H equals to, we can write H1 plus H2. This is an equivalent of these two. So this is an equivalent means these two slabs together conduct H amount of heat per second. Means the single one can do the same thing. Whose coefficient of thermal conductivity is K. The effective area to which the heat is flowing means A1 plus A2. That's why the equivalent area here also the heat is flowing is A. That's equals to A1 plus A2. And the effective length the heat is flowing in this here is L. That's why here also we have taken an equivalent combination of length L. So then, what is the thermal resistance of the first one? Means as you know that one R1 that's equals to L1 by K1 or L divided by K1 A1, and R2 that's equals to L upon K2. What is an equivalent thermal conductivity? Means here equivalent thermal conductivity R is equals to L upon Ka. So that implies A equal to A1 plus A2 also. Let it be. So in parallel combination, the equivalent thermal resistance, the equivalent thermal resistance 1 by R equals to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So therefore I can write 1 divided by R1 is L by K is equals to 1 upon L divided by K1A plus 1 upon L divided by K2A. That implies Ka by L is equals to K1 A1 divided by L plus K2 A2 upon L. This L gets cancelled, so then K is equals to, we can write K1 A1 plus K2 A2 divided by A. I can write this A is equal to A1 plus A2, so that implies K is equals to K1 A1 plus K2 A2. Okay, K1 A1 plus K2 A2 upon A1 plus A2. So this is about the equivalent thermal conductivity when two rods are connected. That's it. I think this is not the new formula. No? Have you remembered this? 1 upon R equals to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2.
It's a parallel combination formula.
Same thing we have taken. There electric current, here heat current. That's it. Nothing different. That's why I have taken thermal resistance 1 by R equals to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. And remember, students, what the difference you notice between a series and parallel combination of the resistance conductors? Anybody?
Sir, here two separate heat flows we have taken, sir.
Here the heat flow among the two conductors are different, being both are connected parallel. So here the temperature difference of the first slab is same slab as same, but the thermal conductivities are different. That's why there are two ways are there to flow the heat. For example, here this conductor offers less resistance, means more amount of the heat will flow from this rod. Or else this conductor, second conductor offers more thermal resistance. So less thermal resistance means more amount of the heat will be. So hence heat will select the path. Which path it will encounter less thermal resistance, through that path more amount of the heat will be flown. So that's why heat flow will be different, and the temperature difference across the junction, across the conductors are same in parallel combination. There it is only one way to flow out the heat. That's why what is the rate of heat to the first rod, that must be same as to the second rod, that must be same as to the third rod, and so on. The temperature difference across the first rod must be different, temperature difference across the second rod must be different. Here two ways are there to flow the heat, either it may flow from this rod or it may flow from this rod, but there is only one way. It has to pass through the first rod and then it has to enter into the second, third, and so on. In series combination, rate of heat will be same. In parallel combination, rate of heat will be different. The net flow of heat is equal to sum of the heat flowed from the rods which are connected in parallel, H equal to H1 plus H2. And temperature difference will be same in parallel combination, and temperature difference across the conductors will be different in series combination. These are the differences we have noticed in series and parallel combination based on this capacity. Got it? Yeah, just to copy this parallel combination.
Sir, is that equivalent thermal resistance?
Yeah, this is the equivalent thermal resistance. This is an equivalent conductor, that's why this will be the equivalent thermal resistance. If you want, we can write here also. So K is an equivalent thermal conductivity and R is an equivalent thermal resistance. Okay. Equivalent thermal conductivity. Finish. So students.
1 minute, sir. Completed, sir.
Make a note of this point. In parallel combination, the net flow of heat is equals to sum of the heat flow in conductors. H equals to H1 plus H2 plus H3 plus and so on.
Sir, it's not visible, sir.
H equals to H1 plus H2 plus and so on. Okay, so this is about the conductors are in series, conductors are in parallel. Now we are going to derive an important relation, especially for the mains and advanced level point of view. Okay, so keep submitting the growth of ice layer on a lake. This is a subjective point of view. We won't get any question from this, but to solve the objective numericals, we need this concept. So let us just have a look on this lateral temperate. Okay. At the end of that, I will give enough time to write. Just have a look on lateral temperate, students. So this is the lake. Okay. So let A is the area of the lake. Let capital A is the area of the lake. At T is equals to 0, the water is start freezing. You know that anomalous expansion of water. The surface water will expose to the atmosphere. The surface water will lose as the heat. Okay, so that's why the water will start freezing at T is equals to 0. And after a time T seconds, we notice that the ice layer has increases this thickness. Let x is the thickness of the ice layer at an instant of time t seconds. We notice that x amount of the ice layer thickness was x. So here under this water is there. This is about the water. Okay. This is about nothing but water. So what is our wish? Is our wish is to find how much time it will take to grow an ice layer thickness from initially there is no ice, means thickness of the ice layer is 0, and after 10 t seconds we noticed that the thickness of the ice layer is small x, means how much time it will take for an ice layer to grow its thickness from 0 to x. That is our wish. We need to calculate the time. Understand? Okay, so first one is what we have taken a lake. So at t equals to 0, the surface of the lake is about to freeze and start freezing. After a time t seconds, we notice that the thickness of the ice layer on the surface of water is x. How much time it will take to grow ice layer thickness from x is equals to 0 to this particular value x. That is about our wish to calculate. So remember, student, when the ice will start, when the water will start freezing means when the water will loses the heat into the atmosphere through this ice layer, then the water is starts freezing. That only when the water will freeze into ice means when the water loses its heat. So then when the water loses its heat means initially like the temperature is in -°C, the water will get some 4°C. So because of the temperature difference, so heat will flow from high temperature to low temperature, means heat has to flow from this water into the atmosphere. Through what it has to flow? It has to flow through this ice layer. So through this ice layer, the water, heat has to flow out into the atmosphere. Then only the water under the ice layer starts freezing. The thickness of the ice layer gradually increases. That's how it will flow means. Generally, surface water is exposed to the atmosphere, it will start freezing. Later on, what will happen later on? The water under the surface loses its heat into the atmosphere, then those water starts freezing. So therefore, ice layer thickness is gradually increases. That is the way to grow an ice layer on the surface of water. How much time it will take? So for that, to need to calculate the time. So let us see this one. At this instant, look carefully, observe carefully. At this instant, dq amount of the heat flow, from water into this atmosphere through this x layer of thickness. Okay, through this ice layer, heat is evaporated from water to the atmosphere. dq amount of the heat is evaporated from this water to this atmosphere through this ice layer in dt interval of time. So that because of that dm amount of the water is freezing, so therefore because of this the ice layer thickness was increased by dx. The ice layer thickness was increased by dx. Listen this terminology. At this instant, dq amount of the heat is evaporated from this water to this atmosphere through this ice layer of thickness x in a time dt. So that dm amount of the water is freezed into ice. So dm amount of the water is freezed into ice means ice layer thickness will be increased. Like dx will be the increase in thickness of the ice layer. So therefore, from this relation, what can I write? Generally, rate of heat dq upon dt that's equals to Ka of delta theta divided by L. That is about the speed. Okay, where L is the distance between the 2 points which are at delta theta temperature difference. So from this relation, what can I write? dq by dt that's equals to K of ice. Okay, area of the lake is A, let it be. Delta theta, let it be temperature difference is delta theta. So then in place of L, what should I write here? dx. That's what we focus here. Okay, you are looking somewhere else. Focus here. So here This is theta 1, this is theta 2. This is of length.
Sir, it's not visible.
Yeah, dq by dt, that's equals to k into delta theta by L we can write. So the k into delta theta by L we can write. So similarly here what should I write then I'm asking. Understood this point? dq by dt equals to k into delta theta by L, where L is the distance between the 2 points which are at theta 1 and theta 2. Delta
Sir, X, sir. X.
That's it. X only. Okay, so dx will be formed after evaporating the heat. After evaporating the heat, this mass, this water is freezed into ice, so that ice layer thickness will be increased by dx. That's why. So k of ice into I can write x. This is so then this is about dq. So then what is mean by dq means we have two formulas dq that's equals to m as delta theta, dq that's equals to m into L. When to use this formula? When to use this formula? Already we noticed that whenever there is a change in temperature, then we are supposed to use this formula. When there is a change in phase, then we are supposed to use this formula. So here the water is freezed into ice. That's why we need to use this formula dq that's equals to here how much amount of the water is freezed into ice? dm amount of the water is freezed into ice. That's why dq that's equals to we can write dm into L. So dm is nothing but what can I write? dm is nothing but mass of water freezed. Okay, mass of water freezed. So then mass is equal to what can I write? Mass is equals to density of ice into. So nothing but dV. So what is mean by dV? dV is nothing but volume of water. Volume of water freezed. So then dV is equal to what can I write? Volume means area of the lake into length of the ice column increases. So the length of the ice column increases by dx. That's why dV is equal to A into dx. Substituting this value, then dq that's equals to dm means I can write density of ice into dV. dV is equal to I can write A into dx. So substituting that value there, then we got dq means so therefore again I am writing the relation dq by dt that's equals to density of ice into k ice into A delta theta divided by x. So then so density of ice into area into dx divided by dt is equals to we can write density of ice A into delta theta divided by x. This A gets cancelled. So if you are rearranging the equation, then what can I get? Density of ice divided by K of ice. Here L is there into L. Okay, into L. Okay, so then into L. So then relation heat of ice into delta theta. Okay, so into delta theta. X dx that's equals to this is an equation I got. So therefore integrating this relation with proper limits. Okay, let me complete this. Overall we can go with one more time. Okay. So therefore integrating this relation with proper limits means from the time is changing from 0 to t, x value is also changing from 0 to x. At t equals to 0 there is no ice layer. That's why integrating with proper limits means integral 0 to x density of ice divided relation theta of ice divided by k of ice into delta theta x dx that's equals to integral 0 to t dt. Constants we can write outside. Density of ice relation theta of ice divided by ice into delta theta. Integral x dx that equals to integral 0 to t dt. Integral 0 to t. So what are the formulas means for integration? We have integral dx is equals to x. Integral x to the power of n dx, that's equal to x to the power of n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. That is the formula. Integral x dx, that is integral dx equals to x upon integral x power n dx equal to x to the power of n plus 1 upon n plus 1. So then if we substitute that one, so therefore density of ice, latent heat of ice divided by conductivity of ice into delta theta x dx means, observe that already we have done this. X dx, it is in the form of what? X to the power of n dx. In place of n, what is there? 1. So then what should we write? X to the power of that's a formula. We can apply the formula to this. X squared divided by 2. Yeah, in place of n, what will be there? 1 is there. That's why x to the power of 1 plus 1 upon 1 plus 1. So then we can write x square upon 2 within the limits 0 to x. Okay, that's equals to integral dt means integral dx equal to x means integral dt must be equals to t. So t within the limits 0 to t. Substitute the limits, then density of ice into latent heat of ice divided by into delta theta. Okay, so x square, first upper limit minus lower limit. X square, in place of x square upper limit means x square by 2 minus in place of x square lower limit means 0 square by 2, that's equals to t minus 0. So then we can write t is equals to density of ice, latent heat of ice into delta theta of x square by 2. So this is the time taken to grow an ice layer from 0 to x thickness. Okay, so this is the they will never ask to derive this, but this formula we need. If I directly go through this formula means you are getting confusion. To avoid your confusion, we have derived in this class. Okay. So once again, students, it is a bit complicated topic. Just let me go through one more time. In anomalous expansion, you know that how the water surface of the water increases into ice. Under the surface of water, under the ice, how the water will be there in anomalous expansion of water. We have seen that. In such a case, we have taken, let A is an area of the lake. At t is equals to 0, the surface of the lake starts freezing. The surface of the lake starts freezing. And after a time t seconds from the instant when t equal to 0, we notice that the thickness of the ice layer on the lake's surface of the lake is x. How much time this would be happened? So, what is the time taken by this ice layer to grow its thickness from initially 0 to x value? That is our motto, to calculate the time. So, how to calculate the time means, first of all, how the ice layer thickness will be increased. Just have a look on it. When the ice will start freezing means, so initially atmosphere was at lower temperature. Under the ice layer, water will get nearly some 4 degrees centigrade. When the heat is evaporated from this water to this atmosphere through this ice layer, then only the ice will start freezing and the ice layer thickness increases. So if there is no flow of heat through this ice layer means this water under the ice layer will not freeze and the ice layer thickness will be stopped at that, it will not grow further. So therefore at an instant let dq amount of the heat is evaporated from the water to the atmosphere through this ice layer of thickness x in a dt time interval. So then dm amount of the water is freezed into ice. So therefore dm amount of the water is freezed into ice means the ice layer thickness was increased by dx. So definitely water is freezing into ice means ice layer thickness will be increased. So therefore the thickness of the ice layer was increased by dx at this instant. So therefore then rate of heat equal to what can I write means according to this formula dq by dt equal to k into delta theta by L. So therefore, the rate of heat through this ice layer dq by dt equals to Ka. Delta theta is nothing but temperature difference between the water and atmosphere. So therefore, if you take this ice slab, this side of the ice slab is exposed to the water, which is at 4 degrees centigrade nearly, and this side of the surface of the ice layer is exposed to the atmosphere, which is in negative temperature, okay, less than 0 degrees. So therefore, delta theta is nothing but temperature difference between this water and atmosphere. So through what the effective distance heat is flowing means here effective distance L through heat is flowing. That's why here effective distance is x. That's why we got K delta theta by x. So we have two formulas are there. These are the two formulas. dq that is equals to ms delta theta. dq that is equals to m into L. When to use this formula? When to use this formula? Already we have discussed that. When there is a change in temperature of the substance, heat absorbed or heat evolved to dq equals to ms delta theta. Whenever there is a change in phase of the matter, the heat absorbed or heat evolved to dq equals to m into L. dq equals to m into L, mass into relationship. Here the water is freezed into ice means liquid phase of matter gets converted into gas solid phase. That's why dq that is equals to dm into L. So here L is nothing but relation heat of ice. Okay, ice. So therefore dm is the mass of the water freezed. We know that mass is equal to density into volume. Density into volume of the water freezed. Volume of the water freezer that's equal to area into length of this ice layer which is formed. So then dV is equal to A into dx. Nothing new, I did all the formulas, you know that. So while mass equal to density into volume equal to area into length. Here what is the length of an air column? Ice column which is created means dx is the length of an ice column. That's why change in volume, the volume of the water which is freezed means area of this lake into this length of the ice column which is formed. So that dx substituted, I got this relation. So therefore we got this relation. So that integrating it properly, which why we need to go for integration, I'll explain this. So from where to where x is changing means at t is equals to 0, the value of x is equals to 0, there is no ice layer. At a time t seconds, we notice that x is the thickness of the ice layer means integrating from x value will be 0 to x, so time value will be from 0 to t. So constants we can write outside the integration. So according to this integral x dx that's equals to what can we write? Integral dx equals to x integral x power n dx equal x to the power of n plus 1 by n plus 1. So therefore t is equals to x square by, with proper calculation we got. So here rho is the density of ice, L is latent heat of ice, K is the coefficient of thermal conductivity of material of ice, delta theta is the temperature difference between the water on either side of the ice surface. Is nothing but thickness of the ice layer formed in t seconds. So this is about the time taken here. Students, why we may have a doubt means so integration why we have used means observe clearly as the time is passes x value is increasing or not. Thickness of the ice layer increases. When x is increases means what about this dq by dt rate of it will be decreases. Okay, rate of it is decreasing means the ice layer thickness will be grown very slowly. So hence it is not a constant process, it is a step by step process. So that's why we have considered to grow dx, we have calculated the time dt. Again to grow dx, we have calculated the time dt. Again dx, to grow dx, we have calculated the time dt. All the small time intervals are added, then we will get the overall time to grow an ice layer thickness from 0 to x. In mathematics, integration will perform the same operation addition, and that's why I have gone with integration. Okay. That's the reason why we have gone with integration. So if it is a constant process, then we can use this dq by dt t is equal to calculated. But as the time is passes means x is increasing, as x is increasing means rate of it is decreasing. That's why the formation of ice layer is not a constant process, it is a step by step process. The time interval for the first dx will be different, next dx will be different, next dx will be different, next it will be different. That's why we have calculated the time for the dx. the dx, all the time we have calculated and we have added this all the times in total. Then we will get the total time to grow an ice layer thickness from 0 to x. So that can be done by integration in mathematics. So the same operation, integration and addition will be done by the same. In addition we can add. Integration also will do the same, but in terms of the function. Okay, in terms of the function, we'll do the operation addition. That's why we have applied this and we got this. Okay, got it? This is students.
Yes, sir.
Other students having any doubts, you can ask them.
No doubt, sir.
No doubt, sir.
Yeah. So first just write down or to learn regarding this. Beside the diagram. Okay. Let a lake of area A. Let a lake of area A starts freezing at t is equals to 0. Starts freezing at t is equals to 0. At t, small t equals to 0. And after a time t seconds, after a time small t seconds, the thickness of the ice layer is increased into small x, or grown into small x. Then you can draw this diagram, this one. Just a diagram. Make it fast. We need to solve the numericals on this. Okay. So right next, let dq amount of heat, evaporated. Let dq amount of the heat evaporated in a dt time interval, evaporated in the dt time interval into the atmosphere, into the atmosphere, through this ice layer, make it fast. So that dm amount of water is freezed into ice. dm amount of water is freezed into ice. dm amount of water is freezed into ice. Then you can write this till here. Till here you can write.
Sir, it's not visible, sir.
This one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now visible. Visible, sir.
Okay. All the necessary formulas we have written there. Okay, everything. If you want, we can write here. Delta theta is temperature difference. Okay, if you remember, then no problem. Otherwise, remember.
So should we calculate the other part calculation also, sir? The integration should be copied.
That's what, if you can remember, this formula is not required, or else if you are anything, we avoid to getting the doubts after that how this is came, the x square by 2 came from x dx. This is the formula. That
So
your
that formula is not completely visible, sir.
formula is not
Completely visible, sir.
Sir, turn the camera, sir.
integral dx is equals to x. Okay, na? Now it is visible, Amma?
Yes, sir. Now visible.
Integral x power n dx, that's equal to x to the power of n plus 1 upon n plus 1. Integral x power n dx equals to x to the power of n plus 1 upon n plus 1. So written till last.
No, sir. 1 minute.
Then after that, copy this. Okay, nothing. Then after this, copy. Completed?
Sir, can
Is this finished all?
No,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
1 minute.
Make it faster.
Completed, sir.
Yeah, so then after that, make a note of this. Okay, so time taken to grow ice layer from thickness x1 to x2, the same thing. What integration you are taking from 0 to x1. Instead of this ice layer thickness is increasing from x1 to x2. Time taken, and then if you are integrating that. So here x square minus 0 square, no, we got because of the lower limit 0, but here a lower limit is x1, that's why we get x2 square minus x1 square by 2. This is the earlier you wrote time taken, this is the time taken to grow an ice layer from 0 to x. This is the time taken to grow an ice layer from x1 to x2, like 4 centimeter to 6 centimeter. From 2 centimeter to 3 centimeter, what is the time taken to grow an ice layer? To solve those kind of problems, we can use this relation. So this is about the completely regarding the conductivity. So thermal conduction is completed. You can go through this material. Let us solve few numericals based on this topic. Okay, then we will go for convection and radiation. So students, remember that one more time. I'm telling that the transmission of heat not there for both point of view. This is completely for objective purpose only we are discussing. For board level, it was the deleted syllabus. Transmission of heat is deleted for board point of view. You need not to go through these topics when you are preparing for the board. So right, coming to the page number 882, page number 882, that is the only solved problem only, 7th question. See that page number 882 of this 7th question is once you have a look on that value, a pond has an ice layer of thickness 3 centimeter. The value of K in ice is 0.005 Celsius units. Surface of the temperature is minus 20 degrees centigrade. Okay, the temperature. The density of ice is 0.9 gram per cc. The time taken for the thickness of the ice layer is increased by we can write 1 centimeter, that is. So this is about they once go through this, even though it is solved problem also, let us have a look on this problem. Okay. So just to go through this also, students. So first of all, what they have given that ice layer thickness initially x1 is equal to 3 centimeter. If it is increased by 1 centimeter, means what is the final thickness is going to become? X2 is equal to 4 centimeter.
4 centimeter.
Yeah. The value of K, they have given that 0.005 Celsius units. Let it be. Temperature of the surrounding is at minus 20 degrees centigrade, means observe clearly. The ice will start freezing when the temperature of the water is brought to 0. Hence, the water under the ice layer below is 0 degrees centigrade. The atmosphere above the ice layer is minus 20, means temperature difference is nothing but 20 degrees centigrade. Temperature difference delta theta is 20 degrees centigrade. And the density of ice, they have given that density of ice, that's equals, they have given that 0.9 gram per cc. So they are asking that the time is equal to how much. Just now we have derived this, but they have given the direct formula. Observe that they have given the direct formula. Without deriving this, how this formula is came means how the students will know about it. That's why we have derived this formula. Okay. So therefore, what is the time taken means according to this formula, the time taken T is equals to the same formula. Density of ice into relation heat of ice divided by thermal conductivity of ice into temperature difference divided x2 square minus x1 square by 2. Students, so here we may get the doubt, is there units as we change into SI system or CJ system means. So to change all the units is a bit difficult. So if you keep all these units in CJ system, then time is also you will get the in CJ system. What is CJ's unit of time? Second only. That's why we will get here seconds only. That's why no need to change that directly. Or else if you are converting to SI system, what is an SI unit of time? Second only. Yeah, SI unit of time is also second. CJ's unit of time is also second. Whether you have changed all these into SI units or whether you keep it in CJ's unit, you will get the time in seconds only. That's why no need to change here. Substitute the value there. So T is equal to density of ice means 0.9. Okay. So then 80 calorie per gram. 80 calorie. Then again we need to convert into that gram. The value of L that's equals to 80 calorie per gram. That implies L is equals to 80 into calorie means 4.2 joule per gram. So therefore L is equals to 80 into 4.2 into 1 joule is equal to what can we write? 1 joule equal to 10 to the power of 7 x only. 1 joule equals to. So therefore convert into 10 to the power of 7 erg per gram. So this is about the value. So then 0.9 into 80 into 4.2 into 10 to the power of 7 divided by the value of k is equals to, we can write the value of k is equals to what we can write? 0.005 means 5 into 10 to the power of minus 3 into 20. X2 square means we can write x2 square is nothing but what? 4 square minus 3 square divided by 2. You can calculate this value, then we will get the time in seconds. So in exercise, they didn't given the problems on this. Okay, that's why we have discussed this example problem. Just according to the given data, and this is even though the formula is mentioned in that problem also need to point of view, but student has to know about how that formula is taken because of this procedure we got the same we have applied. Okay. So simply you can convert into CCSI units also no problem. Okay, so if you keep it in CCS unit also no problem, you get the same. Time T is in seconds only because CCS unit of time is second and SI unit of time is also second. So based on this, okay. So that is about no need to copy that, but anyway solution point of view. So right, coming to the another problem, let us go for exercise problems. Okay. So right, so let us see that 885. Page number 885. Got it, all of you? This is students.
Yes.
See that first problem. One end of the copper rod is in contact with water at 100 degrees centigrade. The other end is in contact with ice at 0 degrees centigrade. The length of the rod is 100 centimeter. At a point which is at a distance 35 centimeter from the end, the temperature is okay. So assume that heat is flow steadily. Heat is flow steadily means the rate of heat through any part of the section will be constant. Just have a look on the problem. They are given question. This is about the water is at 0 degrees centigrade. This is about the ice, which is at 0 degrees centigrade. The length of the rod is nothing but 100 centimeter. Okay, so then they are asking that water at a point which is distance 35 centimeter from the cold air. So this is the point where the temperature is data, which is 35 centimeter from the cold air. This is 35 centimeter means this will be what? 65 centimeter. They are asking what is this value of theta. So like this is theta 1 is equal to 100 degrees centigrade. Theta 2 is equal to 0 degrees centigrade. This is the question. This is about the copper rod. Okay. So a copper rod which is fixed between water which is at 100 degrees centigrade and an ice which is at 0 degrees centigrade. Heat is flowing steadily. The length of the copper rod is 100 centimeter. Then they are asking that what is the temperature of this point, which is at 35 centimeter from this thing, which is at 35 centimeter from this thing. So therefore, observe clearly. Okay, students, listen carefully. How I am doing is I am dividing this rod into two parts. How I am dividing this rod into two parts means this is the water at 100 degrees centigrade. This is the first rod which is of copper of 65 centimeter. This is the second rod. This is also copper. Okay, so this is also copper which is at 35 centimeter. So hence same rod, if I draw like this, how this part of the rod and this part of the rod is able to be connected in series or parallel? Series only. So these two rods are able to be connected in series. So therefore, in series combination, what I told you, the rate of heat will be same in steady state. Whatever the heat that will be flown for this part of the rod per second, the same amount of the heat flow will be there through this part of the rod per second. Let it be theta. So therefore, I can write H1 amount of the heat is flowing through this rod per second, and H2 amount of the heat is flowing through this rod per second. These two are connected in series means H1 will be equivalent to H2. H1 means what can I write? We know that here I am writing observe clearly. H equals to I can write Ka of delta theta upon L. So therefore, I can write H1 equals to H2 means H1 will be the heat flow in this part of the rod which is of 65 centimeter long. H2 will be the heat flow in this part of the rod which is 35 centimeter long. Here the temperature let it be theta 1 degrees, and here the temperature let it be theta 2, the values you know that. So therefore, K1 A1 into delta theta means what is the temperature difference of this? So here I can write theta 1, here theta means I can write theta 1 minus theta divided by L1 is equals to K2 A2 into theta minus theta 2 divided by L2. Are you getting this? So therefore, these two rods are made up of the same material copper and they have same area of cross section. That's why K1A1 gets cancelled. So therefore, theta 1 minus theta divided by L1 means 65 is equals to theta minus theta 2 divided by L2 means 35. So check it. 12. 5 12 to 5 7 no. 5 12 5 7
5 13s, sir. 5 13s.
5
13s.
13. 13. Yes. 7 theta 1 minus 7 theta, that's equals to 13 theta minus 13 theta 2. This 7 theta is taken this side and 13 theta to taken this side. 7 theta 1 plus 13 theta 2, that's equal to 20 theta. So therefore theta 1 means 7 into 100 plus 13 into 0 is equal to 12 into theta. So therefore, sorry, 20 into theta. So then 20 theta, that's equals to 20 theta, that's equal to 7 into 100. Theta, that's equals to 7 into 100 by 20. 21 to 25. So then theta, that's equal to 35 degrees centigrade. The temperature of the junction will be 35 degrees centigrade. So this is about the function. Got it, all of you?
Sir, can you once again explain this?
So simple one, that is what they are asking. First the question is a copper rod which is connected between the water and ice. Water is at 100 degrees centigrade, the ice is at 0 degrees centigrade. They are asked to calculate the temperature of the rod which is at 35 centimeters from the cold layer. So here we would like to find the temperature. For that, what we have considered means, so this is I am comparing with this is a combination which is okay. This rod is compared with this combination. The two rods of same material and same area of cross section, but different lengths are connected in series. So therefore, if I compare this with this thing, so therefore, this is the junction where we need to calculate the temperature theta. So here, as these two are in series, means whatever the heat that will be flown in this first point, first rod is same as the heat flown in second rod. So therefore, H equal to this one, as these two rods are connected in series, that's why H1 equal to H2. Based on this, we calculate it. So to calculate the temperature of this point, we have same rod only. Just we can compare with this. If two rods of same material and same area of cross section are connected like this, how to calculate the theta means the same. It is analogous to this one. Instead of calculating theta here, if we compare with this, then we can calculate the theta. Okay. So that's why we can go with H1 equals to H2. So therefore, K1 A1 upon theta 1 minus theta based on this proper calculation we have. Theta equals to 35 degrees.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Yeah. So almost time is 9:05. Students, tomorrow we'll see these problems completely, and we can finish this. Then we can go for convection and radiation. Okay. So got it, Anna, this problem? Or else simply we can equate the temperature gradient also. Temperature different. Heat study is the same, means temperature difference. Temperature gradients will be same. That is also fine. So once you can practice with that, then you can go for that shortcuts. So based on the concept, this is okay. So right, see you on next class.
Thank you, sir. Guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.